One of my favorite things about The Harbor is giving you guys an opportunity to have your voices heard. On this week's episode of The Harbor, we're going to hear from high school students from all different walks of life, discussing how insecurity has played a role in their life and what they do to overcome it.
I really feel insecure when I'm in a big group of people. Is when I walk into a room and people are just staring at you.
In school, being compared to other students in the classroom.
Like, I always feel like people just pretend to like me, or that I'm really annoying to people.
Like, I have to be in this one group that everybody else is in, and if I'm not, then I'm like an outsider.
I feel like I really find myself lacking confidence and being insecure is when I'm trying to please everybody and get everything done for people. Like, I don't want to disappoint anybody.
All they're looking at is my things that are wrong with me.
There are a lot of situations, and it's not necessarily the kind that it's like, oh, I'm insecure about my weight, I'm insecure about the way my hair looks. It's about like grades and academics and the way that I perform at work.
I want to feel like what I'm doing is valid to other people, especially my parents.
I judge myself off of others. I compare myself to the way they're acting, and if I'm not acting like them or look like them, that makes me feel insecure, like I'm not on the same level.
I'll want to talk to people, but the whole going up to someone and introducing myself is kind of hard.
It's just hard for me to step out and try new things because I'm afraid of judgment and failure.
And it makes me self-conscious when girls talk about what they have and I don't. I feel like I'm lacking everything.
What causes my insecurities would have to be the thought of you have to be someone that everybody likes. You have to be pretty and perfect, and you have to smile the right way, or people are gonna think that you're different, and people don't wanna be different from other people.
I think one thing that really causes insecurity is the way that social media shows girls and portrays the way that girls should look, especially teenage girls. You feel like you should be able to wear certain things and look like certain models.
Being a girl, obviously having a guy look at you and think, oh, she's really pretty, it feels nice. So when you overhear a guy saying, you know, a certain feature that they like in a girl and then you don't have it, you're kind of like, oh, so if he says it, then all the guys mean, they mean it too. It's kind of like generalizing, even though you only hear it from one person.
I mean, society puts a lot of pressure on us all to be a certain way, and that impacts the majority of high schoolers because they think they're fat or ugly or they're not cool or they don't fit in or they're stupid.
Sometimes I feel like I bring my insecurities on myself. People may not be focusing on the things that I think they're focusing on. I just feel like I think of the worst sometimes, and they're looking at every fault that I'm making at that moment.
I want to improve for myself and not for these standards that somebody else has set up for me. And that's not always the case because we have teachers that are, they're pushing us and pushing us and pushing us. And although that's a really awesome thing and it does make us better, sometimes it's better to take it gradually rather than to go all at once.
I think what causes insecurity is the fact that, you have people watching you, and it's in your mind. You get into this sense that everyone is looking at you and knowing what you're doing, and it just gets in your head, and you don't become the person you thought you were, and it just really changes you.
I feel like in high school, insecurity, it has a huge impact because high school you're supposed to get along with everybody and feel the best and have the best 4 years of your life. But if everyone's judging each other and you can't feel that way, it's just terrible.
So many schools are sport-oriented, and if you're not a starting varsity player or on the football team or the basketball team, but you want to be in something like Renaissance or FFA or Spanish club, and you're not in anything else, people are going to look at you like you're different. You're not outgoing, you're not putting yourself out there. When honestly, you are. You're doing the best thing you can to put yourself out there. But those jocks, those people that get so much community support, they're not necessarily always looking down at you, but you think they are because you're not getting quite the support in your school and community that they are because they are the sports teams.
They have
a guideline that they just think they have to be this one perfect person. Everyone has to be the same. They all have to be flawless, have great grades, be the ideal person, and that's not true.
High school students generally tend to be insecure because they can't meet those standards because they're unrealistic.
I mean, who doesn't want to be cool in high school? Let's be real. I don't know, I want to have people remember me, have people like me.
It's the culture we've created. It's something we're continuously trying to tear down, but high school students want to feel cool. They want to feel accepted. If you aren't fitting in, if you aren't doing the same things that everybody else is doing, or at least as close to that as possible, you're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be made fun of. You're going to be left out. You're not going to have an enriching social life, and even in some extreme cases, there are like threats of violence.
Whenever you see like a picture of this supermodel on social media, you just kind of like, I wish I was her. But you have to remember that not everyone is going to look like that.
Even though that you're scared or that you're timid, you just have to be who you truly are, because the people who are going to be the most important in your life are going to like you for you, no matter if you're scared or timid, or if you're not perfect, if you don't have the best smile, the best hair, or you're not the most popular person. The people that are going to stay in your life are going to stay in your life for you, not for who you try to be.
Personally, how I deal with my insecurities is on every single mirror in my room. I have this one quote by Dr. Seuss up in the top right, and it says, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind.
I think insecurity really just leads people to hurt each other. And like the whole point of insecurity is everybody wants to be accepted and everybody wants to be loved. And people, I think, use insecurity as sort of a defense mechanism. They're not always the nicest to people. But I think if people just really understand that everybody's insecure about something, that we can really let that go and try to like build something together and have a common goal, camaraderie, which is how it should be.
My advice to you would be, don't try to fit in or be something that you're not. Be who you really are, and you'll find your group of people that will care about you and love you no matter what you look like or what grades you have or what you're involved in at school or outside of school. They'll still care about you.
Positivity is key in success. If you're positive, then your outlook on everything will be positive. So
I've really discovered a lot of passions of mine that I would not have discovered had I just stayed in that core group and stayed in that safety zone.
The most uncomfortable situations I've been in are the ones where I've reaped the most benefits, if that makes sense.
So you're not alone, and I think that's really important for people to realize that other people struggle with the same things.
When you get to the point where you can realize that you are you and nobody else's say really matters in that, that's where you can find peace within yourself and the ability, the power to just do what you want to do and be you.